vulnerability exploitation has changed quite dramatically in the last couple of years. So before, where you had targeted attacks happening in businesses, it's now become more opportunistic. No longer do you need this individual skills to be able to go into an environment and make sure that you can force the breach or that you can pull the data. As you can see by the image on the right over there, these are vulnerabilities for sale. So effectively, it's breach in a pack. You pay a certain amount of money on the dark web, somebody gives you a breach pack that can go into an environment, and you basically just execute that exploit. This can be done in a number of ways. We'll run through a few different areas in terms of how they can get in that are a little bit more pertinent to the discussion at hand. So cybercrime as a service is growing massively. So it is as easy as getting a Microsoft license. You can go online, you put in a couple of bank details, you put in the areas that you want to attack, you get the exploits. They'll even run it for you. It's cybercrime as a service. It's become an industry of its own. All right. So what this does is it effectively creates a more difficult environment to manage. As you can see there on the last line, threat actors are no longer breaking in, they're logging in. So one of the ways that they do this is still through phishing. The biggest weak point in any business is still the people layer, unfortunately. But there's a few things that these technologies are putting in place here to make sure that that's getting managed, that that's being a little bit more wrapped up and closed off. So one of the big newcomers into these breach packs are malicious PDFs. So effectively, these are disguised malware within the PDF itself. Now, this is getting into even higher levels where the hexadecimal representation looks perfect. Everything looks great. But once that invoice gets opened up, you're still going to get hit with info stealers that are effectively going to scrape the environment for any login details. This is going to give them access into an environment. So these are really things that there's a few checks that can be done to make sure that we are limiting the amount of risk here. But one of the things with cybersecurity is there's no such thing as 100% secure. There's small incremental pieces that you can do to make sure that you are as secure as you can possibly be. But unfortunately, it's no longer a discussion about if you're going to be breached, it's when. So one of the biggest risks that comes through from this is unmanaged accounts, untrained staff with access to these areas, and those are really creating massive vulnerabilities in a business. One thing, the first and best thing that you can do is have staff that recognize what a fraudulent invoice looks like, and that's becoming more and more difficult nowadays. So they really need to understand what the entire supply chain looks like. So understanding what these risks look like are really going to get you into a much better security posture than anything else.